go over the craziest variant of the Polaris I have ever come up with. My final variation. This one will be completely insane. And don't mind the elevator. It got stuck. It's a new glitch I found. Anyways, we will go back to the size 9, replacing this turret. Except this time it will be a magnetic accelerator cannon. We'll still use the capacitors that replace the size 10s. The capacitors charge Mach. The Mach fires big, scary kinetic rounds. This version of the Polaris will be a light frigate. Because at the end of this video, you'll know why. Yet again, you replace the side turrets with twin size 6s. And then you get rid of the hangar entirely. One capital grade reactor will replace it, and then, as in my other video, a quad size 8 turret, energy pulse laser cannon, will be feeding directly from this reactor. Right here. And that will also help power the size 9 primary gun. Then, on top of that, your missile turret again is replaced by a twin size 4. And yeah, that's basically it. All the components you'll need for your giant cannon will be located right here in the hangar. I would have never thought of this variant idea. It solves the power problems, and you get a pocket destroyer or a frigate and actually have fun. Another idea I had was the Polaris bridge. I want to try like a tavern sort of style, you know? I know that sounds kind of weird, but think about it. If you're in the black, wouldn't a tavern sort of look cooler? I mean, I don't know. When I upload this video, you guys tell me what you think. And as for these size 3s, I don't know. Maybe make them reloadable at the very least. Maybe make them size 5 torpedo launchers. I don't know. That one's kind of unknown. Yeah, but that's basically the whole variant. That's it. I just did this because that nuclear guy kept on egging me on. It's like, you know what? You don't like my ideas. I'll just go bigger. Can you imagine a Polaris hull with that kind of firepower, though? Like, think about it, literally. Like, you could actually do it, too. Like, you have a whole capital power plant just for that quad turret. And helping you charge the size 9 up here. It would fit. Honestly, though, the more I think about it, I have to figure out a way of fixing the one negative that has, and that you would lack underside turret fire support after that. Because the thing about that is, once you get that size 9 that fits right there, you don't really got a lot of turreted firepower. There's like nowhere to put a turret. Except maybe right there. But it would be like off-centered. I don't know. When I upload this video, you guys tell me in the comments or in whatever thread I upload this in, where do you think I could place a turret in the theoretical idea this ever actually gets accepted as a light assault frigate? Why? I don't have the money for a frigate. A. B. I don't really need a torpedo corvette. I just want something with a lot of DACA and giant guns. But I don't got the money for the frigates. Yeah, but you guys tell me what you think about this one. I literally just made this to one-up what the nuclear seam, whatever his gamer tag is. I just was like, you said it needs another capital reactor. Well, now it will have another capital reactor. Also, tell me, guys, do you think it also have more shields now that it's a light frigate for this variant? Also, tell me what sort of name you guys would want. Like, think about it. That would be cool. Can you imagine something like that popping out of nowhere, though? Not only is it way smaller than an Idris, you would have, like, no wasted space on this ship. It would be a glass cannon as well. A single size 10 torpedo could knock out both your primary gun, your reactor, and cripple half the ship with how small it is. But on the other hand, if the enemy doesn't manage to get that critical hit in, you have enough firepower to be a menace. I could just imagine like 6 of these with this spinal mount and the quad size 8 causing absolute mayhem. Could you imagine a small org with a whole bunch of those? That would be a mess. I mean, if you're trying to balance something like this with an Idris at that point, you have to understand this thing doesn't have hangar space. Because it's sacrificing its hangar A. B, it doesn't have a single ounce of waste. It has much less armor, much less survivability, much less hull points. It only gets 1 capital shield instead of the 2. Yes, it has firepower, and a lot of it, but is that going to really help it in a straight-up slugfest? You have to understand that an Idris, especially since these would both be classified as frigates at that point with that kind of firepower, has a lot more survivability. At the same time, you also have to then notice that the secondaries of an Idris are completely insane. That thing has so many size 5 guns that it'll just saturate a poor Polaris. Even this theorized light frigate variant, it's a glass cannon. You get 1 capital shield. You got only 8 million hull to it. I think is what, 15 to like 26 for an Idris? I mean, you're a monster of that quad size 8 energy cannon feeding directly from a new reactor. And with that size 9 freaking Gauss cannon. But you have to think, you're sacrificing a lot of things for those. Though I guess those twin size 6s on the side will definitely help. You're a light frigate. And an Idris also will always have that fighter wing. You probably won't. And then the fact that rearming and everything. Yeah, but that's my final evolution of my variants. Like and subscribe to the video, and Nuclear, I know you're going to watch this. How angry are you now? That would be more than enough power to power all of that. A whole nother capital reactor just for powering those systems. I would also like to add that there will be one place on this ship that will have more armor. This, I would double the armor right here. Just where this turret is, for 2 reasons. One, that way you're not always going to lose this reactor every time someone penetrates the one whole area. Because you have to understand that this is going to be a huge weakness. And when a reactor pops, you're going to lose a lot of systems on a ship this size. I understand that by doing that, the ship is a powder keg, and if someone ever gets a torpedo hit on you, you're going to go up like Mount St. Helens. This ship will go pop. But on the other hand, all that DACA is so cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the look of the Polaris. I love the bridge. But we need like a capital ship with like tavern tech just for the bridge, you know what I mean? Like all stealth and it's like tavern. I get that in lore these don't need that, but can you imagine a tavern bridge? Like, imagine, you would never be able to look in from outside. It would just be like this black silhouette. It wouldn't have any of these lights. That would be cool. And I get it. For the current balance of the game, I understand that even if it became a frigate, even if it's not even the same ship, that this would not come anytime soon. Though you have to admit, that would be a cool ship design idea. On one hand, if you take any major damage, you risk losing your entire ship to a reactor detonation. On the other hand, you can dish out more firepower than most ships of your size in any of this game. But anyways, what do you think about this glass cannon design? And I know there will be people like, it's not a glass cannon. In capital ship terms it is, because it won't take a lot to knock that reactor out. See, in a lot of capital ships in this game, the reactors are going to be under heavy defenses. The hangar isn't really heavily defended when you think about it. Sure, it might be covered with more armor in this variant because you can just replace the hangar doors and put a massive slab of armor there, but the sides are still just as weak. And if anything does penetrate, it's going to knock that reactor out. And that's going to knock out a lot of your firepower and your DACA, you know? Yeah, now all of the torpedo loading area, half of that's going to be capacitors for that monster that will be up there. And the other half